So this is my son's shop build. I wanted to start doing videos on this, and I'm going to call myself Brian the Re-Engineer. So this is my first video that I'm doing. So that's my little electric Leaf. I'll get into that later. That's my son's I think 57 Buick, and he's a disabled Marine veteran and bought this property about 6 months ago, and we're completely redoing the house. And he's a mechanic just like I am, automotive technician, so we're building a shop and we're going to start working at it some. So this is walking into our front door. It's the man cave. Whoops, there's a piece of my insulation. So this was just basically a pole building, and yeah, we're right in the middle of it, and it's going pretty quick. I no longer am employed. I'll get into that later. But I thought I would share this with you. I'm going to start sharing tech tips. I'm an ASC certified master tech, have been for 33 years, and I just got shit on by my shop, so I'm getting a new shop and taking about a month off to finish this project with my son. So I started over here doing the foam insulation, and I tell you, this stuff is amazing. Amazing. It's a little bit thick. This is a 2-inch thick board, and it's got the R value of 13.1 right there. So I know it's 1.5 inch thick walls, but it was worth it for me to go a little bit thicker, so I'm making it work. So I started over here, and you can see one of them I put on this way, and I'm like, I didn't really want to have the writing, but I think it's probably better to face it out. I kind of figure out how things work as I go along. I've never done this before, and I'm just sharing it with you. I can help you guys with tips or whatever. So I started here, and I had to move all this stuff, and it took me a while, to do this wall. I did this yesterday, and so that one's done. I'm only good to do the insulation. I know you guys are seeing a lot of stuff here, and I'll go over that in a different video. But that wall, probably, I don't know if I'll finish that today because he's got all that stuff in the way. This wall is going to be done. And I did that one. I'm going to time it, and I'm going to show you. I did that wall in probably about 15 minutes by the time I cut all my stuff. And I'll show you how I do that too, to make it fast. I built a 22,000 square foot horse facility for my ex-wife. Notice the key word is X. And yeah, the whole time I was doing it, I knew I was building it for somebody else. But hey, it's just the way things go. I'm in a good place, and I'm happy. Happy wife, happy life, and everything's great. I believe in saving the human race. People say save the planet. I'm going to save the human race because the planet will keep going. We may disappear, but the planet's going to keep going. So I'm going to try and save the human race with electric vehicles. We're going to start building electric vehicles out of the shop. See that Buick right there? We may make that electric. This little Volkswagen Bug, we may make that electric. This one, probably not. But this is my youngest son's Mustang. He's an RN, and he's right in the middle of COVID. I mean, just right in the middle of it. So I got my daughter is a corpsman in the Navy, and she's still enlisted. My oldest son, he's a disabled Marine veteran, and he's still working, but I don't know how long. I mean, his body's beat up. And my youngest son is an RN. He's got his nursing license right at the beginning of COVID, and I believe February of 2020, and was thrown right in the mix. And he's seeing people die every day. Man, wear your masks, do what they tell you, because I'm not an expert, and he's had COVID. He survived, but he lived in my upstairs, in one of my bedrooms upstairs, and has went through it. And he thought he was going to die, and he was a kid. So I got my shots, I got my vaccines. He refuses to get his because he's had COVID, and I mean, that's what the vaccine does, is it gets your body ready for COVID. So he's already got the natural system in his body to get ready for COVID, and they're trying to get rid of him. You believe that? Anyways, I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to do a couple more inserts where I show doing this part, and I'll time it. I'll take all this stuff apart, take all the stuff out. I'll have my boards cut, and I'll tell you how long it takes. This one has a little bit of wires right there, so I kind of have to work around that a little bit, but not bad. But this one was fast. I mean, I got it down to science. and I'll show you real quick. So I started on that side. It was a little sketchy, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I kind of worked on this side. And all I used to cut this stuff, I'll whip it out here, is this DeWalt long blade cutter. You don't want to saw. This stuff is foam. It cuts just like nobody's business. But don't put that, do that. Don't put that in your pocket, man. That is one sharp blade. And notice I got all my fingers, no cuts. So anyways, these are 1.5 inch fender washers with just a wood screw, and it's holding those in firm place. They don't really need it. I mean, they would probably stay there by themselves, but I just like to do things right. You know, like I said, I re-engineer and I take something I see and I make it better. So what I did is I beveled my edges. That one's not that great, but that one right there, it's tucked in behind the wood. And then these are just, they pound in place. You know, if I got to trim them a little bit, on the edges I trim them a little bit, and then put the last one I got to cut down. Same thing, I bevel it and shove it in the edges. You know, it's not 100% sealed, but one insulation is 100% sealed. If I wanted to spend extra time, I probably could do it. But we got beveled edge, held in place by fender washers with a screw, and this whole wall. I literally put this thing up, and I want to say 10 minutes. And I cut them fast. And I'll show you guys that too when I get somebody to help me with the video.